sad to take the mask off because it was really distorting my face. And if you notice, the having a great Air Force Day over there is not in that.
Yeah.
Well done, well done. I laughed because she sent it out last night. I was like, well, I wonder how many people saw it. Because thankfully, I had the one you and I had written all over. But
Yeah. I actually said have a great Air Force Day when I did Notes for the Nation. I was a narrator, so I did it on purpose. It wasn't
Snuck it in
nerve when
there.
I said it, and I smiled when I said it.
Awesome. Hey, Roxer?
Whenever you guys are.
It's been a long time. This is everybody working so weird. That's what I was talking to Calvin about. The social distancing guidelines, all the equipment supervision.
Can you make them last while the we're starting about 3 minutes?
Yep.
People are still in the back and floating around. Yeah, I'm gonna have them announce the keep a distance for Leah. 2 minutes.
Give them to about 8:28-ish.
Okay.
8:28.5.
She wants another 30 seconds.
Yeah, just let them, because he's been sitting for a while. So we're good. We'll be fine.
I know, I keep thinking you're going to see a flood of people coming in. It really isn't. This is probably everybody. It's funny, I worked for Colonel Sullivan back when he was the CGSO commander in the Army. Obviously, you wouldn't remember me. It was the first attack. Wow, I'm bringing up later. Because I'm pretty sure, I think it was 2012.
He was a CGCR commander.
CGSOX, so it was like all of the air assets in Bagram.
Chief, how you doing? Thanks for coming
Chief.
out. Yeah.
No, you're good. Yeah, he was like the air component commander for all air assets stationed at Bagram, and he's an AFSOC guy. But I'll give him your announcer form. Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats as our ceremony will begin momentarily. At this time, please ensure you silence all electronic devices. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Major Adam Miles, your narrator for today's ceremony. Today, Colonel Lee Gentile will assume command of the Air Command and Staff College. Our presiding official for today's ceremony is the Commander, LeMay Center, and Vice Commander, Air University, Major General Brad Sullivan. Before starting, I'd like to introduce our special guests in the audience. Please hold your applause until each group is introduced. First, Major General Sullivan's wife, Mrs. Samantha Sullivan. Colonel Gentile's family members, his wife, Mrs. Laura Gentile, his daughters, Sophia and Abigail, who's celebrating her 9th birthday today, and his son, Matthew. The Air University Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Tamar Dennis. Lastly, we would like to welcome all commanders, commandants, senior leaders, directors, command chiefs, chiefs, first sergeants, supervisors, and the members of the ACSC team that are viewing today's ceremony virtually. The change of command ceremony is a military tradition rooted in history and dates back to the time of Frederick the Great of Prussia. During that time, military organizations developed flags which were unique to their organization with specialized colors and designs. The soldiers followed their leader into battle with flag in hand. If the banner flew proudly after the conflict, it was a sign of victory on the field of battle. With its obvious importance, the flag was soon incorporated into the ancient change of command ceremonies. The organization's banner was exchanged in public for all to see. The person holding the flag was the unchallenged and sovereign leader of the unit. The modern-day ceremony is principally symbolic, yet it still announces to all the authority of the incoming commander in the finest military tradition. The transfer of the command flag to the incoming commander symbolizes the assumption of command. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation from Chaplain Douglas. The Commander, LeMay Center, and Vice Commander, Air University, Major General Brad Sullivan, and Colonel Lee Gentile.
If you are willing, please join me in prayer. Most gracious Heavenly Father, many events have transpired that led to Colonel Gentile assuming command of Air Command and Staff College today. From his commissioning as an Air Force officer in 1997, to his days of training becoming a pilot himself, to instructing future pilots, numerous deployments, and commanding operations both home and abroad. All of those have led to this day, this moment, and have made him ready to take command. Thank you for preparing him for this time. We know that he did not arrive here on his own. There have been many involved, but especially it took the love and devotion of his wife, Laura, that gave him strength to stay the course. It took the affection of his children, Sophia, Abigail, and Matthew, to give him focus and purpose. Thank you for each of them, and I ask that you bless them as they adjust to their new home. Keep them safe, and may they have many happy days here. Last, I ask that you give Colonel Gentile wisdom to guide well, strength to hold the standards high, and tender it all with mercy in a way that each man and woman who enters this school will have the chance to share their value and feel valued. Please, God, bless him. God bless his mission, and God bless America. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Douglas. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to present Major General Brad Sullivan.
Really appreciate people being out today. I would tell you that in these times, those things that we can carry over as traditions really mean a lot. I know I did an informal poll prior to, and everyone out there is a volunteer, so I really appreciate you getting into your service dress and showing up this morning. When we talk about Air Command and Staff College, we're talking about an organization that has its roots going back to 1931 in the Air Corps Tactical School. But sometimes when you talk about that much history and tradition, it can be something that bogs us down, and that's not what we need. General Hecker, the commander of Air University, has charged us with developing and educating air, space, and cyberspace leaders for a great power competition as dictated to us in the National Defense Strategy. I will tell you that Air Command and Staff College is a critical component towards readying those people that are going to take us forward and think about conflict in new ways. When we take a look at Air Command and Staff College, I'd be remiss without talking about the previous commander. I will tell you that General Lamar and Kirsten Pettis did a fantastic job during their time here. For those of you who do not know, he's now in Saudi Arabia in command of an expeditionary wing, taking the fight to our enemies in the United States Central Command area of responsibility. I know he wishes that he were here for this, but I don't think he'd trade jobs and come back right now. What I will say is that during his tenure, and that punctuated by Colonel Heather McGee, they did tremendous work on freeing up and doing new and different types of attacking the problems that we're looking at. From number one, distance learning. As evidenced today in a worldwide pandemic where we're socially distanced, we're going to have to think about education in different ways. Part of that is we're going to have to reinvent what is the in-residence experience. And in this transition to the virtual learning environment, I will tell you that distance learning is the key. And underneath General Pettis, we transitioned the Air Command and Staff College experience, and will be transitioning others underneath the E-School to the Arizona State University Online Initiative. For those of you who have not gone, it is a method whereby we are getting onto the Arizona State University bridge and developing and getting platforms that do not necessarily require the customer-intensive aspect associated with some of the military domains. So this is a big step forward. It's just come online, and it's been a tremendous success so far as we've migrated, I think, about 6,000 people over to the Air Command and Staff College offerings already. Then when we take a look, one of the things that have punctuated just change in the last year is the development of our nation's newest service, the United States Space Force. And when we take a look, there are some specific education opportunities that the Chief of Space Operations, General Raymond, has charged Air University with in developing a specific curriculum that is going to be relevant to today's space professionals. Air Command and Staff College really led the way on that and brokered a model whereby all of Air University is going with the startup of its Schriever Scholars Seminars. From that perspective, some people come in and we substitute in a little bit of curriculum in a specific targeted way to get after those challenges that our space professionals are going to need as they stand up the newest service. And then the last thing I wanted to hit on is the way we have been going about in fighting conflict over the past 2 decades. That of counterinsurgency operations and manhunting. We're the world's finest fighting force at doing that. But is that what's going to make us successful in the next iteration of great power competition? There are probably things that we need to do to change. And what I would tell you is that as we move towards joint all-domain operations, Air Command and Staff College has already done a targeted developmental program, used to be called multi-domain operations, now is going to be called Joint All-Domain Strategist. And the graduates of that particular course have already been lauded by combatant commanders from USAFE to PACAF. So there are a lot of good things that went on during General Pettis' reign. And it's a good lesson for us to take that we can't be rooted and so enamored with the legacies of the past in the Air Corps Tactical School that we don't challenge ourselves to continue to develop and move our curriculum forward. The great thing is that as Lamar and Kirsten go forward and transition to their next jobs and next phases, we have the next person up. I talked about General Hecker's emphasis on the development of the warrior leader. And in order to develop a warrior leader, I think that you have to be a warrior leader yourself. The great thing is that with Lee and Laura Gentile, we have just that. When you take a look, I'm going to go straight down the line here. Well, let's talk about being a warrior, okay? When you take a look at Lee's background, he has a Bronze Star Medal. The Bronze Star Medal that he got was for being a battalion air liaison officer on Operation Iraqi Freedom 2, specifically in Fallujah, Iraq, where he was in command of both JTAC teams from all services, to include Air Force, Navy, and Army personnel. If you transport yourself back to that time and place, Fallujah was the birthplace of the resurgence of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban in that particular area of Iraq. It really was the bastion of General Petraeus's move going forward. And the recapture and the retaking and the movement and the stymieing of the enemy's momentum there was really a turning point during that phase of the conflict. And I will tell you that to earn a Bronze Star Medal from the United States Army during that time frame is no early feat, no easy feat. And Lee did it, and I will tell you that I talked to a couple of Army officers out in the crowd before, and they know that Bronze Stars in the Army are not just given out. Then let's take a look. He's got 3 air medals. He's somebody who participated and flew in combat and executed those 3 air medals on Operation Enduring Freedom. When you go further on, he's got 4 aerial achievement medals for a variety of tasks, to include patrolling the demilitarized zone in Korea. So when you sum up his aviation flying career, we're talking about a command pilot with just close to 3,500 flight hours. And he's got combat time that was punctuated not only in the cockpit, but then as the Deputy Division Chief of the Plans Division at the Combined Air Operations Center for CENTCOM AOR. He was in charge and helped develop the 35 combat plans that we prosecute in that theater. In every instance, Lee was singled out for praise, both for his performance and his ability. So that's the warrior aspect of it. If we can get kind of any academic bona fides, that's really kind of icing on the cake. And I will tell you that Lee has excelled as a scholar as well. He performed his intermediate developmental education with the Navy. Also went to an advanced studies program, not here at this esteemed institution, but in the Navy as well. And then he went forward and completed his senior developmental education with the Army at Fort Leavenworth, and stayed on for another year as the Air Force Element Director and an instructor at Air Command and Staff College. So when you take a look at being able to compare and contrast different leadership styles, Lee is somebody who's intimately familiar with how the other services conduct their professional military education, and it gives them kind of a leg up on how we're going to go about excelling as a joint force moving forward on joint conflict. And the last thing I want to talk about is leadership. And if we can get a little air education and training experience in with that, that's also a benefit. I will tell you, Lee has a long and storied, steeped history with Air Education and Training Command. He was a first assignment IP, and I know I saw and talked to a T-38 IP out there prior to, not first assignment, but something that you can empathize with. And then he came back and was a wing chief of flight safety. He then became a squadron commander in Air Education Training Command at Columbus, was a vice wing commander over at Vance. I mean, you're really hitting some bases as we go, Lee. I will tell you. And then just came to us most recently from Wing Command at Laughlin. So when you take a look at somebody who embodies the warrior leader ethos, I would tell you that we are in good hands with Lee and Laura as we proceed on for the demands that our education and the people out there in the audience absolutely demand. In a time of our service when we're struck with worldwide pandemic, it was professional military education and accessions that were deemed mission essential activities by our Chief of Staff of the Air Force and the Chief of Space Operations. You are here specifically because there were waivers made in order to ensure that you were here. It is important to our leaders, to our department, and to our nation that you take the next year and get everything out of it that we can possibly put into you. That's the charge that you've got, Lee and Laura, as you come on board. I will tell you that you're not going to find a more gracious and a family that wants you to succeed more than the Air University family. So from that standpoint, I'm really looking forward to what the next couple of years are going to bring. I feel like we're in good hands. As we take a nod to the past with General Lamar and Kirsten Pettis, Colonel McGee, I'm really excited to take the step forward with Lee and Laura. So Lee, come on up and we'll get this done, and we'll make you the 49th Commander of the Air Command and Staff College.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Gentile is invited to join Major General Sullivan at center stage, where Colonel Gentile will officially take command of Air Command and Staff College. Attention orders. Department of the Air Force Headquarters, Air University, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama, Special Order Number G2009, under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51604 and effective 3 August 2020, Colonel Lee Gentile assumes command of Air Command and Staff College, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the Commandant, Air Command and Staff College, Colonel Lee Gentile.
All right, thanks all. Whoa, sorry, I want to turn that down. I'm known as the little colonel with the big voice. So normally I could fill a room like this without a microphone, but I know we've got a lot of folks watching virtually, so I just want to take an opportunity here. First, sir, thanks for the words. I was listening to that, and I'm like, who's he talking about? You captured my career in a way that I never thought about it, so I really appreciate that. To General Webb and General Hecker, thanks for giving me this opportunity, not just to be the Commandant of Air Command and Staff College, the residence course, but also the distance education course, it's got over 24,000 airmen and servicemen from around the world that are tying in. This really is the center of gravity of professional military education for the officer corps, and I think it's important to highlight all the great work that Dr. Kessler's been doing over there, Dean Kessler's been doing over there in the East School, and of course, Dr. Forsyth, you've done a fantastic job. We've had many conversations over the years from my time when I was up at CGSC through now, the transformation that you've made with the ACSC in residence course, and I'm excited to be here. As you mentioned, sir, been in and out of air education, training, command, combat experiences. I spent all my time in school with the Navy and the Army, and I've learned a ton. And I'm hoping to take some of that experience and pass it on to the school. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about my family. I've got my immediate family with me, but I want to give a shout out to all my folks that are watching from afar. My grandmothers. I have two 89-year-old grandmothers. One actually turns 89 tomorrow. So sorry, Graham, I didn't mean to age you too fast, but 89 tomorrow. Today is my youngest daughter's 9th birthday. Congratulations, Abigail. Happy birthday, baby. Stealing your day from you, but I appreciate that. Of course, my dad and stepmom Kate. Dad, you taught me the value of hard work. He owns a construction company. My youngest stepbrother works with him. And when I was working for my dad, I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, how long are we gonna be on the job site?" He goes, "Oh, it's probably gonna be about a half a day." 12 hours later, we'd be done, and he'd be like, "Dad, I thought you said half a day." He goes, "Yeah, there's 24 hours in a day." Matter of fact, we got done in 11 hours and 50 minutes, so you're welcome. That's just that's the kind of work ethic that I grew up under. For my mom and my stepdad, Kathy and Paul Johnson, thank you. You taught me the balance of life, that you've got to enjoy your life and not just work all the time. For my my father-in-law, John Kessler, and my mother-in-law, Linda Kessler, thanks for letting me marry your daughter. She's awesome. She, as you all know, she's done amazing things. And as I told everybody at Laughlin, she's the better 75% of this deal, and I promise you're going to figure that out here real soon. She's very involved in everything, will want to get involved with everybody's families. That's one of the big things. That's one of the most important things in my life. Of course, to all my stepbrothers, stepsisters, my brother-in-law, sisters-in-law, love you guys. Appreciate all the support. We're excited to be back closer to family. Laura's from the Northeast Mississippi area, so we're only about 3 hours from home. Looking forward to reconnecting with everybody. All right, I think that's enough for this round. You're getting three doses of me today, so I'll save some of my comments about some of the other stuff for the next two segments. But just, again, thank you all for being out here. Really do appreciate it. Thank you.
The men and women of Air Command and Staff College welcome Colonel Gentile and his family. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the first verse of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party. Due to the wear of face masks, we will not be singing the Air Force song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's Assumption of Command ceremony. Thank you for attending. All Air Command and staff, students and faculty, please remain at your seats for the opening ceremony that will begin in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Our program is about ready to begin. At this time, I ask you please find your seats and turn off and silence all cell phones and electronic devices. I am Major Jason Steinlich, your MC for today's event. Welcome to the Air Command and Staff College Open Ceremonies for the academic year 2021. Before the ceremony begins, I'd like to introduce a few of our distinguished attendees. Please hold all your applause to the end. The Commandant, Air Command and Staff College, Colonel Lee Gentile. Vice Commandant, Air Command and Staff College, Colonel Heather McGee. The Dean of Resident Education, Air Command and Staff College, Dr. James Forsyth. The Commander, 21st Student Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Reed. The Commander, 38th Student Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Raymond Rusco. Lastly, a welcome to all the distinguished military and civilian guests who are virtually viewing today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the faculty processional, the playing of the national anthem, and the invocation by Chaplain Douglas.
If you are willing, please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we gather today to commemorate the beginning of AY 21 here at Air Command and Staff College. It is you who have brought these men and women together at this point in their careers to this place and time at ACSC to further their abilities and to hone their leadership skills in order that they may have the chance to become the finest leaders the Air Force has ever seen. I ask that you give them good health and wisdom so that they may be able to overcome any and all obstacles that come into their path in order to achieve the goals set before them. Watch over their families as they transition to this new atmosphere. And at the end of their stay, may they look back on these days with happiness and joy. I also ask that you watch over the leadership here at ACSC. Bless them and help them as they guide those before us. Thank you for their dedication and their love for their fellow airmen, and as well as our great Air Force. We thank you, and we ask all this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Douglas. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, our first presenter today will be a video by Lieutenant General James Hecker, Commander and President of Air University.
Well, welcome to Air University. You know, this is something that I wish I could be there in person to congratulate each and every one of you. I know some of the courses you got into aren't easy to get into, and I really appreciate that you're able to make it here. I know there is uncertain travel arrangements when you're trying to get out here, and it put your families through a lot of stress. But congratulations on finally making it here. We really appreciate that you made it. And to our international students, I really want to thank you, because it was even more challenging for you to be able to come here, but you're such an integral part of our courses. We really appreciate you making it out here. Now, we do ask that you be flexible. So as we go through the school year, the coronavirus is going to get worse, and sometimes it's going to get better. And we're going to be in a situation where we can either teach you from your house or we can teach you in residence. What we do want to do is make sure that you're safe when we're teaching you in residence. So we'll make sure, at least to begin with, that we have 6-foot spacing between all the students, and that we're going to be wearing masks to start with, as well as the instructors. And one thing that I do ask, if you feel sick, even if it's just the sniffles and maybe not a full-blown temperature, we ask that you stay home, because by coming in, you're going to endanger everybody else. And we will be able to bring you in remotely into the classroom, so it's not like you're going to miss out on anything. So just stay flexible with that. Or if you feel sick, you think there is a doubt, there is no doubt. Just stay home and keep everybody safe. Nextly, I'd like to make sure that you challenge yourself both physically and intellectually. You got a great opportunity here. You don't have a lot of other things going on, and you can concentrate on your physical well-being as well as your intellectual well-being. Also, concentrate on your family. For those of you who brought your family here, this is a great time to get to know them. There's no deployments, there's no TDYs, and you can kind of stay here and get to know your family. Also, once downtown fully opens up, I ask that you go down and enjoy what the town has to offer. But just make sure you do it safely. Make sure you adhere to all CDC guidelines, as well as wear a mask, because that's how this virus is spread for the most part, as well as watch your physical distancing from other personnel. Again, I'd like to say congratulations. It was really tough to get here. I'm glad that you made it. And now let's just enjoy the school year. Thank you.
We appreciate General Hecker's comments for the charge of the class of AY21. The next video will be Maxwell Air Force Base Wing Commander, Colonel Patrick Carley.
Welcome to Air University. I'm Colonel Pat Carley, the 42nd Air Base Wing Commander and your installation commander here at Maxwell Gunner. And with me today, I've got my wingman.
Hi, I'm Chief Mike Morgan, the Installation Command Chief.
We wanted to take just a couple minutes to welcome you to Air University on your year-long experience here in a professional military education environment. And what a great place to be here at Maxwell Gunner. The 42nd Air Base Wing provides all the basic installation support for you and your family members while you're stationed here. We have two groups, the 42nd Medical Group and the 42nd Mission Support Group. We also have the full complement of wing staff agencies, such as the Chapel Team, the JA Team, and the Sapper Team, as well as many others that are here to help you and your family members while stationed here. The 42nd Medical Group will provide your medical care right here on the installation. Your family members may be enrolled within the clinic, or they may be enrolled off-base at an off-base provider. Regardless, the 42nd Medical Group will provide you and your family members the best health care possible while you're stationed here. The 42nd Mission Support Group has 7 squadrons which provide the basic support services such as TMO, the Transportation Management Office, through the Logistics Readiness Squadron, which you dealt with your household goods when you arrived here. They also have the Communication Squadron and the Civil Engineer Squadron and the Security Forces Squadron, providing Defender security 24/7 while you're on the installation.
As the foundation of the Air University and Maxwell Gunter, the 42nd Air Base Wing's job is to provide world-class support to all of our mission partners. So if you need anything while you're here at your in-residence school, please feel free to reach out to us. We're here to support you.
we have great partnerships with our downtown entities, with the city, with the county, and other cities across the state. So be sure to take advantage of the rich history and culture and experiences here in Montgomery, the River Region, and across the great state of Alabama. If you don't, you'll be missing out. So once again, welcome to Air University, and congratulations on your selection to attend in-residence professional military education.
Our next speaker series will be 3 of our local mayors. First will be the Honorable Stephen Reed, Mayor of Montgomery. The next video will be from Honorable Bill Gillespie Jr., Mayor of Prattville. And the final, we will hear from the Honorable Gordon Stone, the Mayor of Pike Road. The Honorable Stephen Reed has served since 2019 as the 57th Mayor of Montgomery. He serves as the head of the administration branch of the city supporting over 200,000 citizens. Bill Gillespie has been Mayor of Prattville since 2011 with 30,000 citizens. And the Honorable Gordon Stone has served since 2004 as the Mayor of Pike Road when it only had 350 residents and covered a 2-square-mile area. Now Pike Road has more than 8,000 citizens and a 31-square-mile area.
Hi, I'm Stephen Reed, Mayor of the City of Montgomery. I want to welcome all the officers to Air University as you begin your 10-month stay here. We look forward to hosting you in our community, and we look forward to partnering with you in many different ways while you're matriculating through this awesome process. We hope that you will enjoy many of the activities and features and events that we have around our city, from minor league baseball to the Shakespeare Theater to civil rights museums. We're just glad that you're here, and we hope that you and your families enjoy your stay. We look forward to doing everything that we can from the City of Montgomery to provide you with a hospitable environment with which you will transition going forward in your future careers. We hope that you will come back, and we hope that even some of you will call this place home. So thanks again for all of your leadership, and most importantly, thank you for your service.
Hello, I'm Mayor Bill Gillespie, City of Prattville. I'd like to say a great big thank you and welcome to the River Region and Maxwell Air Force Base. You know, we over here in Prattville have had a great working relationship with all the officers that have come through. Just been a great big love affair for us all over here. And as you happen to get around the area, I hope that you're able to find downtown Prattville. And if you're down here, please look me up. If you see me around some of the eateries or some of the watering holes, ask me about the Mayor's Challenge coin and also the Mayor's lapel pin. If you ask me about that, I'll be glad to buy your dinner or your drink of choice at that particular time. But find your way over to Prattville. You'll see exactly what we have to offer over here. But one thing I need to warn you a little bit about is that there's a lot of patriotism over here in Prattville. Prattville loves the military. We appreciate you guys. Without y'all, we would not be exactly where we are today. So again, find your way over here. Enjoy yourself here, and thank you. But also thank your families for everything, that the sacrifices that they have to endure because of your jobs and your travels and so forth. But again, welcome to the River Region and the City of Prattville.
Hello, I'm Gordon Stone, Mayor of the town of Pike Road, and it's such a blessing and an honor to be the mayor of this wonderful hometown community right here in the River Region. And on behalf of all 10,000 plus citizens of the town of Pike Road, we want to welcome all of you to the River Region. Thank you for being a part of a leadership team that makes such a difference for our country and those around the world that you represent. We are so honored to have you here, and we're so proud of our relationship as a region with our military. Thank you for the training that you are all about to go through, because we know that makes you great leaders, leaders that will ultimately help make sure that we all live in a safer world. We want to tell you a little bit about Pike Road. We are an exciting destination community. Our township started when a group of citizens who've lived here all their lives wanted to incorporate and grow their own town. So we're 23 years old. And over that course of the time of our town's existence, we have been the fastest growing community in Alabama for 2 consecutive decades. We're excited to welcome our first town center to Pike Road this year with our first local grocery store that's just a wonderful sign of the progress in Pike Road. I'll close with this simple message. We believe that people are what make a town great, and we invest in our people every day. We call ourselves a welcoming, neighborhood-focused community because that's what we try to do. So come see us. We'd love to have you visit Pike Road, and welcome to the River Region.
Thank you to all our local mayors. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Colonel Gentile, the Commandant, Air Command and Staff College. As Commandant, he directs the operations for the world's premier in-residence and distance learning professional military education college for the mid-level career officers and civilians, which focuses on development of air-minded joint leaders. Graduates go on to provide significant contributions in developing, employing, sustaining, and commanding air, space, and cyberspace power in joint and combined operations throughout the world. Colonel Gentile was commissioned through the Reserve Officer Training Corps at Worcester Polytech Institute. He's a command pilot with 3,300 hours in the A-10, T-6, T-37, and T-38. He comes from Laughlin Air Force Base, where he served as the 47th Flying Training Wing Commander. He holds a Master in Engineering from Space Operations from the University of Colorado, Masters of Art in Institutional Security and Strategies, College of Naval Command and Staff, and a Master's of Military Art and Science and Strategic Studies, Advanced Strategic Leadership Studies from the School of Advanced Military Studies. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Gentile.
All right. Thanks. Good morning. Yeah, you even said it right. You said Worcester. There's an A on the end of it, not an ER. So for anybody who's ever been up in the Northeast. All right. Well, this is the second of three that you'll hear from me this morning. I actually going to talk a little bit longer today, or this round. I know we got a lot of folks checking in from the outstations, virtual. It's different. Right? It was looking around the crowd. It was this big, massive auditorium that I was in 18 years ago at Squadron Officer School. It holds about 1,200 people, and we have 50. And so it's different times. We're all wearing masks, right? What I would tell you is, what you're going to hear from me a lot over the year is I'm not about making emotional arguments. Right? We're going to listen to experts. And one of the things I've been talking about with COVID-19 is a lot of folks went to school for a really long time to understand how this works. So regardless of what's in the politics, we're going to extract ourselves from that, and we're going to focus on the facts. We know that this is a respiratory virus. We know that it is highly contagious. We know that it affects different people in different ways, and we just don't understand why. Like, that's the unknown, is why are some people showing no symptoms at all and other people are dying from the virus, right? And so we're paying attention to that, and we're talking to the doctors on a daily basis to try to better understand how we deal with the virus in our lives and how we combat it and how we protect each other. Obviously, we know that there are folks that if you have another underlying condition, we're going to work with those folks to stay at home, right? Those are the folks that are most at risk. As General Hecker said, I don't care what symptom you have, just stay home. We've got the ability to bring you in virtually, just stay home. I'd rather you stay home and be safe. And again, I know there's a lot of folks that are going to say, hey, this doesn't protect you from the virus. Well, we don't know, right? We know it travels on air droplets. And if you ever wear it long enough, it gets a little moist on the inside. So it's going to hold the air droplets. And if everybody's wearing one, we're protecting each other. And it might not protect necessarily me, but it might protect me from giving it to you. So think about it as it's the other people protective equipment right there, okay? Arguments. We will have professional arguments, and we should. We all have different backgrounds, and we have different experiences. We have different beliefs. It's okay to disagree with somebody. And that's what we're actually here to do this year, is try to better understand other people's perspectives, but leave the emotions out of it. If you're getting emotional about it, disengage from the conversation, okay? But I wanted to make sure that we share different perspectives, right? Because perspectives are based upon somebody's experience and somebody's education, values, where they grew up in the world. And I know we've got 64 international officers and quite a few that are sitting here physically with me today. For my American students, make sure you're taking time to get to know the international officers that are in the crowd. And of course, the international officers, I know you all have a pretty unique program where you all travel together and get an opportunity to intermingle. I'm telling you, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're all going to be crossing paths again as colonels. Some of you will go on to be air chiefs. Many of the folks that are attending the in-residence course will go on to be general officers. Somebody in the class will be the Chief of Staff of the Air Force in about 20 years. All of you are going to go command within the next 3 to 5 years. As General Sullivan said, I was at Command and General Staff College for 2 years as the commander of the Air Force element up there. That was only 3 years ago. So 3 to 5 years ago when I was there. All of those folks that were there with me, they're all squadron commanders right now. I sat in your seats in Newport, Rhode Island, 2008 to 2009. I took command of my squadron in 2012. So just kind of think about that for everybody who's listening in. In 3 to 5 years, every single person will be in command or giving up command of an organization. Are you ready for that? That's kind of what this year's about. I mentioned one is relationships, right? So get to know each other. Those are the folks you're going to command with. 2, you're a tactical expert in your major weapon system, your functional area. It's now time to transition from being a tactical expert to become an operational expert. What does that mean? That means you have to start to understand how all the parts and pieces fit together. For my folks that are coming in, my weapons officers, it's kind of like the ME phase, but on a grander scale. How do you pick up and move an entire military halfway around the globe and start up operations? For the last 20 years, maybe even a little bit longer, maybe 30 years, we've done the rotational forces to the Middle East. For anybody who's been serving over in PACOM or UCOM the last couple of years, you see that model starting to change. How do you pick up an entire wing and move it? How do you pick up an entire brigade combat team and move it? How do you move an entire Navy? How do you move all of it together? How do you fight in space, through space, with space? What about with cyber? This year, as we talk about educating air-minded joint leaders, don't focus on just the word air. I want you to think about how do you use cyber, space, air, naval, subsurface, land, human, electromagnetic spectrum, the list goes on and on. You've got to be able to understand all of that. When we get to the end of Air Command and Staff College, you will better understand that. There's going to be some frustrating days. I get it, there's a lot of reading associated with the courses. But what you do today prepares you for the next 5 to 10 years. When the flag goes up, you don't have time to get ready. This is your time. Now is your time. Do that. The last thing I'm going to tell you is a lot of you are out of balance. I know I am. I just came out of Wing Command. I gave up Wing Command 9 o'clock Friday morning. Jumped in a car with the family and drove all the way across the country from Del Rio, Texas. And if you don't know where that is, you just drive to the edge of America and then go a little bit further. But you're out of balance. This is a good year to focus on your family. Spend some time with them. You're going to have program breaks. Make sure you take some vacations. Fitness. If you kind of drop that out of your cross-check the last year or two, work that back in. You're going to need that going forward as you go into command jobs. I got a lot of folks. I see some soldiers in the room. I know I got a couple Marines checking in from virtual, we got a lot of folks that probably have some medical conditions that you've been pushing off because you didn't want to be pulled out of the fight. This is a great year to get after that. I know I'm going to get after a couple of things that I've got going on. We got great medical care here in the local area between Montgomery and Birmingham, and we can get you fixed up. We can get you ready to go, get a year to rehab, and get you back out into the fight after Air Command and Staff College. Those are the things I want you to focus on. Oh yeah, the last one. Have fun. It's a great year. Have fun. Have fun doing this. Have fun learning. Have fun getting to know each other. Are things going to be a little bit different? Yeah, but it doesn't mean we're going to stop doing things. We're still going to have opportunities where we get folks together, right? You're going to be broken into your little classes, or pods, however you want to call it. Hey, if you're all at work together, there's no reason why you can't hang out afterwards together. You're the same group of people, right? Try to limit the interactions across groups so that we don't, if somebody gets sick, we don't take down the whole school. But I want you to make sure that we're spending time together off duty as much as you are on duty. Okay? All right. It's enough for now. You'll get to hear a lot from me. I believe in a little thing called personal diplomacy, so you'll see me out and about quite a bit, getting to know folks, looking you in the eye, trying to learn a little bit about your background, a little bit about your family, where you're from. I'm intrigued by everybody's stories because everybody's got one, and it's really neat. So, well, appreciate it. I'm going to turn it over now. I think Colonel McGee's up next. Yes, all right. Thanks, all.
Thank you, Colonel Gentile. Our next speaker will be Vice Commandant Colonel Heather McGee. Colonel McGee began her military career in 1993 when she received her commission from the Reserve Officer Training Corps at the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Her command assignments include the 34 Student Squadron here at Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama, and the Air Force ROTC Detachment 159 at the University of Central Florida. Colonel McGee holds a Doctorate of Business and Administration from the University of Phoenix, a Master of Air Power Art and Science from the School of Advanced Air and Space Studies, a Master of Military Arts and Science from the Air Command and Staff College, and a Master of Business Administration from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel McGee.
Okay, welcome. A lot of you have heard me talk already in various recordings, so I'm not going to say a whole lot. First, I want to welcome our outstanding new Commandant, Colonel Lee Gentile. I'm very happy to have him here on board with us and excited to see where he's going to take the school as we keep moving forward in all of the great initiatives that we're working. We have a great curriculum here. Dr. Forsyth and his team have done outstanding work with our curriculum. I was a student here back in 2006, and I can tell you the curriculum and the faculty that we have today are far superior than it was when I was here, and a lot of that's due to Dean Forsyth, so thank you. Just want to put out a plug with the curriculum. Yes, we have a fabulous curriculum. It may not be tailored to your particular AFSC, but take advantage of it. Our electives program is superb. I encourage you to check that out. I will put in another plug. I've done this on a video already for Gathering of Eagles. If you're interested in that, please check that out, as well as our Leadership and Command elective. Colonel Gentile and I will also teach a section of that course. So if you think you're going to be heading on to command either after ACSC or in the future, I encourage you to check that out. Take this opportunity, 481 students from 54 different countries, sister services, civilians, so please take this time to network, get to know each other, and as our Commandant said, please have fun, and I'm looking forward to a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel McGee. Our next speaker will be the Dean of Resident Education at Air Command and Staff College, Dr. James Forsyth. Prior to joining ACSC, he served as a professor of international politics at the School of Advanced Air and Space Studies. A retired Air Force colonel, Dr. Forsyth spent more than 25 years in military education with multiple publications. In his most recent, he examined the prospects of achieving international cooperation in cyberspace. A native of New Jersey, he received his PhD from the Joseph Corbell School of International Relations, University of Denver. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Forsyth.
Welcome, everyone, and it's my distinct pleasure to see all of you here. For those of you out there in television land, welcome. We'll get to meet all of you as the year goes on. Boss, welcome. What the boss didn't tell you was he gave up command on Friday, and he took 71 hours off. Completely off. That's a joke. Laugh. Relax. That usually works. The masks. It's the masks that are interfering with my humor. We are really glad you're here and look forward to working with you. This is a very happy day in Colonel McGee's life because she's no longer the acting commandant, she's just the vice. She's already about 6 inches taller than she was last week. So thank you, Heather. You've done a great job. And on behalf of the faculty and staff, let me just say thanks for everything you did the last several months. It was very, very difficult and you did it well. When people ask me, what do you do down there? You know, my friends ask me, what do you do down there at Maxwell? I tell them, well, we're trying to create habits of mind and patterns of inquiry about very big issues. And they look at me like, what? Yeah, we're asking students to think about war. We're asking them to think about peace, leadership, air power, war fighting in general. As General Sullivan was saying, we're living in interesting times. Interesting times can be a blessing and a curse. We'll see how it works out. But you have to be prepared for everything, and that's not easy. And it's our job to help you. So here's our promise. You put the work in, and you'll leave better than you arrived. If you don't put the work in, you will have wasted your time. And there's nothing more criminal, in my mind, than just wasting your time for an entire year. So don't, and you won't. You're not that kind of people. There is a lot of reading, blame me. There is a lot of writing, blame me. You'll leave better if you do both, thank me. And with that, I would also say, don't be afraid to say thank you to faculty and staff and each other. We don't say thank you enough to one another in this world, and it's a good time to do that. You're going to make lifelong friends here. Just a short little story about General Sullivan, if I may. I had him as a SAS student back in 2006 in the infamous Class 14. There were, I think, about 30 to 35 Air Force officers in that class, and about 24 of them have made flag rank, many of them at the 3-star level. That's the world you're in now. That's not why you're here, but that's the world you're in. So take advantage of it, enjoy it. Blame me for all the terrible things that we're asking you to do, like read and write. And thank the faculty. We have a marvelous faculty. That's not me talking. That's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff's inspectors talking, who noted that our 125 faculty is an industry best practice. Lots been going on down here for the last 4 years. You don't know about it, but you will. And I think you will enjoy yourselves. If you're not having fun, please come and see me. I privilege interruptions. I've learned over many, many years that it's the phone call at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday or the knock at the door at 3:30 on a Wednesday that can make a difference in someone's life. So don't hesitate to come by if you've got nowhere else to go or you just want to come by and say hello. Great privilege, great honor to serve with you. Thank you for everything you're doing. Boss, once again, welcome. Heather, thank you for everything you did. And let's get to work. Thanks. Boss?
All right, we're back on. Okay, just wrapping it up real quick. It's going to be a fantastic year. And Dr. Forsyth hit it, is you get out of it what you put into it. You'll hear the jokes. It's only a lot of reading if you do it. Haha, right? Please do the reading. But you know what? Every one of you, again, to talk about getting ready to go into command. Do we teach a speed reading course? That's all right. Look, one of the reasons that you have so much reading is as you go up in command, you have a ton of reading to do, right? You're constantly reading. And so this is training for that. And it's learning how to read the right things the right way. Glean out the most important points. And not just repeat it. That's why we make you write it. Because we need you to take somebody else's thoughts, mix them together, mix them with your own thoughts, your own experiences, and then present them out. That's what your bosses are going to require. That's what your peers are going to require. That's what your subordinates are going to require of you as you go forward. So we'll work, you get out what you put into it. But again, if you want to be a great commander, it starts now. All right. With that, let's close it out. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the first verse of the Air Force song, the departure of the official party, and the departure of the faculty processional. Due to the wearing of masks, we will not be singing the Air Force song. Ladies and gentlemen, your faculty and staff proudly welcome you to ACSC. We wish you the best of luck in this academic year and thank you for your time and attention today. You are dismissed.